Order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket in High. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
www.BayHillNews.net is the parent body of the Bay Hill News Network, who did Facebook Live for church service, funeral service, lecture, sporting activity. For more contact at BayHillNewsNetwork@gmail.com or call 1784-529-8340.
Join your host, Ross Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Bay Hill Online Radio and Concord Radio. Ross Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibration. When it is Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Ross Bishai.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. Music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Canadian Radio.
Boost your brand visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and making significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
Hi friends, what's happening in your corner? Be it a group meeting, sporting activity, a community activity, some upcoming event. Whatever happening in your corner, let us know. We share it on Concord Radio. So email us at concardi.radio@gmail.com. That's CANCARDI.radio@gmail.com. We are in your corner.
Island Style Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes, caps, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style T-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarves. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts, and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship Berth in Kingstown. Our telephone number 784-593-6338. That number again, 784-593-6338. It's Island Style.
Join your host, Ross Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Bay Hill Online Radio and Concord Radio. Ross Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibration. When it is Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Ross Bishai. And tuning at political impact baboons who are positive church September 2024. Yes. Welcome everyone to the program. Say the market. You are listening to and following this program worldwide. It's good to be with you here again for another program. So I know that this time you are link up your friends, your family, and your loved ones, and those who want to listen. Let them tune in. As we give praise to the Almighty Creators and we honor our ancestors. I heard some music in the background, Monty. I said, glory to the Lord, glory to the Son, and glory to the Power of the Most High. Jah Rastafari. Almighty Creator of the universe, and I give thanks for your love, for your care, and for your guidance throughout the time, and for bringing me here for another program. Continue to shine your light into my paths, and I step into the light and onto Mount Zion. Blessed be the areas of His Divine Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie and Empress Menen, on perfect balance. Blessed be the areas of our ancestors in Nepal, which walk alongside and always keeping their feet from slipping and falling, and from mischief and stealing, and most from slander and idle speaking. And I call on the God of Maat and the 42 divine ones from creation to keep all our people firmly on the 7 basic principles of truth, order, balance, harmony, law, morality, and justice. Give life over death, light over darkness, mind over matter, and good over evil every time. Ashe. Yes, my loving people, wherever you are on this beautiful new night of September. Yes, we give thanks to the owners and operators of Bay Radio, and of Kankai Radio, Sun City Radio, and the owner and operator of Politically Incorrect Barbados. Welcome, my family over there. As well as to the sponsors of this program, and most importantly, and I am look to you, the listeners, who make this program a reality, you the listeners. Hope that you had a great day and that you're having an excellent week so far. So tonight, what are the happenings? What are we reason about? And what solution we're going to find to whatever pollution is in the happening right now. Well, first of all, today is the new moon. It's the last new moon of summer 2024, in case you didn't know. Summer ends on the 22nd of this month. Alright? And autumn starts on the 23rd. What they call the autumnal equinox. Okay? So, this is the final new moon for this year's summer. To happen, the autumnal equinox will take place in 20 days' time. So that is what we should be aware of. What happens normally in the new moon is that it's time to our ancestors used to take a rest from certain activities and always have some sober celebrations and give recognition to the guidance of their ancestors. So today is a good time for that. Excellent day for that. There are other things too, but that is one of the key things that culturally is our thing, our people, our melanated people. So we have 2 more months remaining in this year's summer. We have the first quarter, which will be Wednesday 11th, and we have the full moon, which is September the 18th. Yes, so we have 2 more remaining in this summer, 2 more phases. Tonight we're going to also have the planted honeymoon phase guide for the period of Wednesday 4th September to Tuesday 10th September 2024. We're going to look at that and we're going to show you the relevance of the information, how to apply it, why it's best to be applied, and everything is linked into the main reasoning for tonight. Okay? And you should be practicing it by now, especially those people who have been following the program for a long time. Most of you should be practicing it. It's not just about farming itself, farming is the main thing, but it's also about doing other things, other cultural and spiritual things where you keep in tune, you get that harmony that our ancestors spoke about upon the seven basic principles. Because a lot of things these days are totally out of whack, no harmony, even among I. And except we get the harmony, we will be able to subdue our oppressors. Simple as that. Okay? So we have to make sure that our energies, our collective energies, bring positive results. So yes, we're going to get that more phase. And then the main aspect tonight, the main reason we're going to do tonight is about healing the soul of the land. Healing the soul of the land. And we're going to refer up to this land here, Yumi, what you call Sinigagoo, but it's also applicable to all lands, including our good family within Barbados. Because all these lands right now, which have gone through from the time they overcame our ancestors, gone through slavery, colonialism, and now independence, which is a new form in most cases of colonialism. The land has been deteriorating and has gone to a state now where it's sick, so it needs healing. And if we don't heal the land, then we cannot heal ourselves, because we are of the land, we are from the land, and what comes from the land feeds us. So, for us to be healed, for I to be healed in the region, everybody is affected, every country population is affected, especially melanated people are affected in one way or the other by the oppression of the colonizers and the neo-colonizers, those who do not want us to be free and to get justice. In order to heal the land and heal ourselves, we have to heal the land properly. In order to heal ourselves, we have to heal the land. So we're going to speak about that tonight. Okay? I just want to big up one local person here who is doing a fantastic job and sharing all the information with the public. Is a great photographer and his own photographic skills, but he is a mountaineer. He's an environmental tourist. That's my calling of it. He goes out into the open and takes a lot of people, local, regional, extra-regional, on tours throughout the roughest terrain and some of the most beautiful terrain in this country. Paul Cyrus is the one I'm speaking about. So what are we doing, brother? Beg up to you. Okay? And keep that war going. The ancestors guide you to be strong, so you can trust exactly what is happening here. Most of us can't reach. This is a gentleman who has been posting the most photographs of our volcano, active volcano, since the last eruption. From down in the crater, right from the foot of the mountains, right up to the crater. And it will be amazed. It is an amazing thing to see the geology, so when you see these things happening, you know that the cleansing of the land is taking place from the summit, because that's the higher frequency. So we cannot go and pollute the soil again. If nature is cleansing, we have to take that and run with it. Okay. So healing of the soil in our land. Right? What is the history of the soils? What is the first of all, what is the character of our soil here? Or should I say, let me do the history first. Now, this land I'm speaking about here, this main island, St. Vincent, you hear me, is 100% volcanic. Means to say that all the soil, everything you see above the surface of the water, of the seas, right, has been there, came out of a hot volcano. How long ago? Probably millions of years ago. Definitely. And as all the reports have said, scientific reports, it has never ever been, the land mass itself has never ever been below water mark. Never been submerged at any stage. So we have no calcareous deposits on this land. Totally volcanic. So that is where it came from. And in terms of the character, our soils are very, very, very porous. Meaning to say, there is no way in this country. I'm not speaking about the concrete surfaces, I'm speaking about the earthen surfaces where flooding takes place. None. Unlike other countries in the region where they have heavy soils and after a couple of hours of steady rain, you will have some level of flooding. We don't have that. Water seeps right through our soils and goes to the core and comes out again somewhere as streams because it purifies itself by going through the earth. So that is the nature of our soil structure. Texturally. That is one part of the blessing that we have here. Okay, we have two major soil types. We have the alluvial soil, which are soil right at the river mouths and so on. Those soil that the old river, the river in the days when the rivers were big and massive. Even when before this island here was inhabited by any person. The soil that came from the top and come down. We call it alluvial soil and settle and form these plains. Like Cane Grove, the Clement, that's a river plain, a river bed there. Right? Those are alluvial soils, Connery, those areas around there. Areas that Ansville. These areas, these sort of areas are alluvial soils. You don't have too many of them in terms of acreage, you don't have too many of them in the country again. Right? Then we have, and we are going up in altitude, we have the yellow earths. They go up to about 600 feet altitude. And then we have the high level yellow earths. They go up above those. Again, to about 800 feet. And then as you look nearer and nearer to the active volcano itself, both northeast and northwest, you have the soil type, you see younger soil type, we call it the ash soils. Okay? So this is what I think St. In other countries, you wouldn't know what you have, but I'm just saying that for the listeners, that's the character of our soil and the history of our soils. Okay? Our soils have been historically, I'm speaking from origin, fertile, right? Fairly neutral, not acidic at all, not acidic. Of a high sand, silica nature, sand. As I said, pretty refrigerating and deep and stable, so that even in the mountain areas, even in those mountainous areas, just before you get to the forest summit, the top of the forest, the soil there can be used for farming and have been used for farming. It's not recommended to farm above the 1,400-foot contour for protection of our water sources. But anything from that down, we have excellent agricultural soils in all areas. Of course, we have outcrops of rock, but where there's soil, it's always good soil and deep soil. So our farming can take place from sea level to those levels. And if you want to just draw an example of how our soil is good, look back in the, well, this is forward, because we're already going back in this program. To the 70s, the 1970s, and the 1980s, and the 1990s, where our real people, because their lands, they didn't have lands that they own, and we're going to get a little bit of that title a little later. They will go up to lands that some of the ancestors used before. And even higher than that, we're getting some problem here with the broadcast. How is that? Yeah, I think that should be better. Yes, like the foot of the Lhasa volcano, those peaks that go up there, where these guys, these brothers and sisters used to go and plant the gold. I'm going to call down the link, you can't take care of it now. Call it later. Yeah. Yes, so that is where we, that's how soils are, and they're very stable because we won't have land slippage from time to time, but not big sort of landslides that happen in other countries because our soil does not get oversaturated because of its level of porosity. So we don't have that landslides. And once you put certain basic conservation measures in place, like drains and controls and so on, and I want people to know this because they practice it even before the colonialists came in, but the colonialists also ensured that it took place after. That is something which is part of our culture. So we do that. We have all types of drains there, like when runoff drains, that sort of thing, right? So that aspect of maintaining our soil stability is cultural is there. So our soil fertility levels have been high, and that is one of the major reasons why in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, the main colonial slave trading powers that be Spain, Portugal, and Britain were interested in getting hold of this land to do what they did in other countries, plantation crops, whether it be sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, indigo, whatever, because they knew that the fertility of this land would give them the returns they were looking for. Okay. So, what has made our land to be sick in this time so that it would be healing? Well, over the years, before the advent of chemical inputs, chemical fertilizers also, it's many manures that used to be used in before the colonial time, before slavery, during slavery, during colonialism. But from the time they had what they called the so-called Green Revolution, And they started making these chemical fertilizers and keeping the percentage higher from semi-chemical to, well, half 50% chemical to 100%. Our soil, life and its biology were all intact. And in addition to that, since they started making the toxic poisons, I remember when I was small, as a real toddler, like a preschool youth, I could remember hearing about certain things that they would put in the soil because I lived on the edge of an experimental station in a state, Camden Park. Okay? So we'll be talking about what they're going to put in the soil to kill the young puppies and the cutworms and these sort of things. So I remember those things. But when you were that age and you don't have so much sort of a knowledge and understanding of certain things, and you realize that the soil is a living thing, you would think that that was a good thing. So it made you feel kind of good. It's when you get older and you realize, well, these things have natural cures, but what they use in unnatural cures. They have natural products to kill these things, but and prevent them. What they use in unnatural. Then you realize that what they're doing actually is damaging the soil, degrading the soil. So basically, from the advent of our commercial modern age cropping, the banana industry in particular in this country, 1954 around that time. We were bananas before, but this is the first time we went into a big contract with a big supplier. The way how the bananas were produced was not dictated by the farmers individually or collectively. The way the bananas were produced was individual islands, of which Livingston is a part, were dictated by the people who were put there by those who funded the whole program and wanted the bananas in England. So what they really recommended were their products to be used here to produce the bananas to go there. And we knew, and we didn't know that was not sustainable in terms of productivity. So somewhere it had to come to an end. So we poisoned ourselves over those years. Although the farmers have been getting yields. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying that the soil, let us say the soil had a productivity level from 1 to 100. But it will bear fruit at any level. Okay? And let us say that 40 is the level below which it goes that the farmers wouldn't make any money. So anytime they get over 40, in that grade, they would make some money. So farmers are getting 50 and 40 and even 60 at some time. The field would go and making money. Not realizing that there's another 40 above that they could grow if things would be done differently. So we held on to that system and we moved from generation to generation where we accepted that as the norm to treat our soil with these inputs, these type of inputs. And many people became hooked on them. But after they realized that almost every year you have to put in more of the same to get the same results, something started taking to people this thing wrong. Because when you were selling a certain volume from an area, that volume started going down. So we have reached a stage over those 46 and at the 20, 66, this is 6 years where our soil was under tremendous pressure from that cropping system, because we didn't protect bananas alone. the inputs, most of the inputs for the other crops fed from the banana industry. So whether you're planting root crops, or you're planting vegetables, or you're planting greens, it's the same inputs that you're using. So all the soils have the same type of polluting inputs. Now, there are a few other types of land degradation that could occur also apart from that particular one. Another means that land degradation means reduction or loss in arid, semi-arid, or dry subhumid areas, loss of the biological or economic productivity and complexity of rain-fed cropland, irrigated cropland, or range pasture, forest, and woodland, resulting from land uses or from a process or combination of processes, including processes arising from human activities and habitation patterns such as soil erosion, spoke about that a while ago, caused by wind and or water, deterioration of the physical, chemical, and biological or economic properties of the soil, and long-term loss of the natural vegetation. Now, as I said, we don't have much of the degradation caused by water, because again, of the leach of the soil and of the conservation measures that we have been putting in place culturally for a long time. We're not in the desert area where we get degradation from wind. Wind doesn't not blow away soil. And in some countries, we blow off a lot of the topsoil and so on. Okay? And we do not get washing away of topsoil because of the water. So those forms of degradation are minimal in terms of our country. Right. And vegetative degradation, we have some of that. And it's declining. So that is where people go and light fires deliberately in the dry season and burn certain areas. And all sorts of one form. Also, where people continuously spray toxic herbicides in an area in order to keep it grassless or plantless. That's another form of land degradation, because you're killing the biology of the soil when you do that. Okay? So those are the major forms of vegetative degradation that we have. But we have a form of degradation which started, I would say, in the last 30 years, that has been increased significantly in the last 20 years or so. Before I go there, once the climate deterioration takes place, we have a little what we're experiencing now, the phenomenon they call climate change. But that degradation can be overcome. For example, we're having some hotter dry seasons, and some hot seasons, and some wetter hot seasons also. But we could handle this if we use the resources we have properly. So, when we get to the solutions, we will speak about these things. But losses due to urban and industrial development, right? The decline in the total land area use or potential for agricultural production as a result of idle land being converted to urban, industrial, and infrastructural uses. Yes, we have a lot of that going on. We have people building houses where other choices are there, but they want the best piece of agricultural land to build a house on. So the family has an acre of land, and there are 7 people in this family at this time, 7 adults, and 3 of them own their own house. But instead of building the house on the sloping areas of the land, which is absolutely perfect, they want the piece of land we could take, which is most suitable for mechanized agriculture and for any sort of food production to plant. So they reduce their family farm size tremendously with concrete. In cases where houses could be built several stories high, and with the same cost or even less cost, everybody wanted that there, that there, that there. So among old people, that is something that we have to look at, especially in a country where land is of prime importance, agricultural land, in this time. And we're going to see why this land is important. Okay? And then we have governments taking agricultural lands all over, and converting them into infrastructure, which again could be situated elsewhere. Definitely, and there are places elsewhere. In this country, we have 4 major land classes, and this has been done since the 1930s, 1940s in the colonial government. Put our lands into classes. Classes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and classes based on the topography, the land, meaning the level of sea level, right? The stoniness of the land, okay? The structure itself of the land, fertility and so on, okay? And the productivity of the land. We have 4 classes of lands in terms of the stability of the land, in terms of its resilience to weather and climate. We have classes 1, 2, 3, and 4. These lands are classified, documented as agricultural lands. And this principle used to be followed right up to a little less than 30 years ago. Definitely followed right up. This principle is held by all governments, colonial, local, statehood, independent, until recently we had an explosion in prime agricultural lands being used for non-agricultural purposes. Not because that there are no other places that these things could do, but well, we have to summarize what the reason is. But we have lost and we are losing prime agricultural land at a fantastic pace in this country. I hope it doesn't happen in the other countries around us. Because right now, this is crunch time. This is crunch time. So yes, we have to protect these things. Why is land healing so important? Why is land healing so important? What is the importance of healing our soils? Right now, as we stand in the Caribbean and in the world, the most important economic and socio-cultural sector in the world is the agricultural sector. Food is the most important thing. Never mind how many wars we are fighting. All these people fighting have to eat, and they have to eat at least 2-3 times a day. Otherwise, you have no strength to fight. Somebody must eat and fight in food. We're getting to this thing, we philosophy behind, psychology behind all that just now. But food is the most important thing, and today food is being weaponized. There are people out there who want to feed us and feed us certain things to keep us in a certain psychological and biological stage and social stage also. Okay? And we cannot allow that to happen because we will just be vegetarians. We will just be vegetables, rather, not vegetarians, vegetables. Mindless people who could be controlled at any time. And that's a modern form of slavery. So we have to protect ourselves from mental slavery. Food, when they want to induce non-communicable diseases to us, they do it through food. And because now we are at the stage in the region, we are net importers of food, major net importers, even countries like this one, which used to be a major net exporter of food, we are now net importer of food. Not due to our own choice, but due to policies enforced on us from outside. Since the 1980s, late 1980s to now, where they have been steadily cutting back on our agricultural sectors, steadily cutting back on them. While we are not, most of us are not paying attention. To the point where they have us by the mouth, so to speak. Our taste buds are linked to external foods. And we have eaten all the illnesses. And we are very sick people. Right here in the region. Probably sickest region in the Western Hemisphere is the Caribbean. In terms of non-communicable diseases. And the only way we can get out of that is to produce the food that we need to consume in the region ourselves so we could, who has it, trade it with the other partner. But we're producing it so that we know that the food we produce does not contain the illnesses that they want to put on us. And to do that, we have to heal the land, because when you heal the land, you get the land clean and proper. The land will produce the clean food. And that is the fight we are facing right now. That is where our focus should be. All of us in the Caribbean, that is where our primary focus should be. Feeding ourselves and feeding ourselves with our own food and clean food. So, heal the land. The land produces medicine in the form of the food, drink. The medicine heals you, and you heal your nation through that. Because you will be a different person, different vibration. And that's what we have to do. Got to reach 7th Street. Yes, I. Got to reach 7th Street. We can't let this fraudulent system keep us down. So, we're healing all the lands in the region. And to tell you that they are blocking, at this time last year, this very time, my brother, Emmanuel Barilla, loving family. It's happened that the ancestors brought I and I together, and we were present in a forum where we were the only two non-politicians in that forum to hear what they pledged together. And now when we look at it a year after, it had hardly unfolded. As a matter of fact, many countries have gone back on the pledge in this region. They had pledged something called FAST, F-A-S-T, Food and Agriculture Systems Transformation. And the emphasis there should be on transformation, which means change. Like how we're going to transform the soil within this area, in this land. Same thing we're talking about. From the chemical nature of it, the non-biological nature of it, to biological soils, biologically active soils. Transform it. So to transform the quality food that we're going to produce. So the quality food could transform us from the negative values we carry in mainly in the region. Early just don't seem to be able in any significant way to start working together as one people. Always still have these little petty isms still dividing us. That's where we have to go. But instead of going fast, as they said they would go, we are now going slow. And when I say slow, slow is an acronym for same, lackluster, old, weak, SLW. That's what it is, going slow. When we should be going fast. But you see, going fast and transforming would involve, we have to involve a lot of the people who want to link with, people who don't want to get involved, because the majority of people in the region who have the capability and ability to make it happen, they want to keep us at a certain level. So, the people out there who are financing them, and the organizations who are financing them, they just come up with some new slogans, but it's the same philosophy, same old philosophy. They haven't changed, and that is why, instead of reducing our food import bill, anyway, since they made the pledge to cut it down by 25% by the end of next year, we have 4 months to go this year, just started the 9th month. And we have 12 months next year, 16 months. At the end of 16 months, I'm prepared to say that they and their program wouldn't be anywhere at all. It's over 25%, not even 5%. But we the people working collectively could achieve much more than 25% in a lot of commodities, and that is one of the things we have to do. And to do that, and do it the way it should be done, our lands have to be healed. Our lands have to be healed. The first thing we have to do that is to order that the lands have to be healed. That is why I'm showing you the importance of this thing. The importance of this thing. They have moved from GMO foods to a new type of, instead of now they're going with the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, they go with the RNA part of it. So they're trying to modify genetics in every way. And they now had a law passed to remove any compulsory labeling on genetically modified foods and products. So what they're saying that you won't know what you're eating because they don't have any right, they're not compelled to put a label on it. That is why we have to do our own foods here. And to industrialize our own foods, transform them to different stages, and add our own innovativeness with it and our own creativity, and create many more products from the basic material we have here. Many more products. That is one of the things we have to do. Okay? So, I think I want to give you the phase before we come forward with the next half of the program. Because when we come forward, we get into some serious reasoning about how we do that. A lot of farmers look forward to this advice, this information on a weekly basis. So there we go. This is the biodynamic planting that we will face guide for the period Wednesday, 4th September, that's tomorrow, to Tuesday, 10th September, next Tuesday, 2024. Okay? So tomorrow, Wednesday, today is the moon. So the moon came from rain, give us. Remember that phrase? Rain, give us. We moved from the last quarter, waiting until we just called the dark night. You can't see the moon. I was there with the last night. Till now, the moon peaking again, new moon, it's new again, and it's crescent form. That's when it's small. We're winning. It's waxing crescent. It's just start waxing. We'll start waxing from tonight. Very early. Waxing crescent. And this phase will last right up until next Tuesday. Right? It's a great time to plant short crops that are above the ground. Means setting your seeds and so on. We call them annuals. Any crop that will there has a cropping cycle for less than a year. Call it an annual. But it's especially good for leaf plants. Leaf plants. It's good for corn also, good for herbs, and it's good for cucumbers. This is excellent. It's also a good time to mow lawns, and to graft, and to prune. Because when you prune now, you get a fresh root coming very quick. Very, very quickly. This one of the recommended crops to set early in this week, early in this phase, for farmers or gardeners or people who set their own seeds. And the seeds that take very long to germinate, like celery. This is an excellent time to start celery, soon after the new moon. Just make sure that you have everything in order. You pot it in soil, mix everything in order, and water, or a little bit of that pot and throw it out at all. Celery will want the seeds set in the sky. Okay? So the waxing crescent will take us right up until the next program at least. So I expect you to take this time very early, good time to start your, wouldn't have started yet, but it's a good time to start setting your window to ready for the seeds. So that by the time you get to spring, not to spring to autumn, you'll have some seed ready to put in the ground. And you keep planting every time, every seed, every moon phase, like this one, similar moon phase, you plant a bit of it. So you have it ready for the green grain right through until next year. Okay? For those who get seedlings from other people, this is the time to start getting this week, is the time to start getting those seedlings best and put them in the ground. If you buy seeds to give people to set, buy them this week and give the cost to set. But this is the proper way to set seeds in particular for those green crops, leafy green crops, cucumbers also, corn, herbs, right? Now, what is happening in this phase? The moonlight is increasing. Because as the days go by, you see the moon getting a little bigger, it's waxing. So the crescent form is going to wax until it gets to the division of the Libra form, and that will be the first quarter. But this phase is the waxing crescent. The moon has the strongest gravitational pull. The moon gravity has at this time. Strongest gravitational pull. The soil releases and the earth exhales. That's what's happening right now. Okay? The energy draws up into the upper planets. So those are the astrological things that our ancestors knew and passed down. So that's where we are. I think now we're going to take a break for the station early. And when we come forward, we're going to look at how we heal ourselves in the land, in this land, and in the other lands whereof loving people have similar problems and similar soils. How are we going to heal that? So right now, let's have a word from our sponsors.
Boost your brand visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
Biggs Network presents Inside Health. 30-minute program in which we explore the human body and its functions. We'll share real-life stories and the latest medical science as we look at related diseases, conditions, and determinants of health that affect quality of life. So join me, Phil Abbott, for Inside Health on Behavioral News Net, also on CanCaliRadio.info.
Please note that Inside Health will be back on air on BehaviorNews.net and CanCaliRadio.info simultaneously as of next Wednesday, September 4th, and every Wednesday thereafter. It begins at 8:30 p.m. Thanks for sharing and joining us.
Hi friends, what's happening in your corner? Be it a group meeting, sporting activity, a community activity, some upcoming event, whatever happening in your corner, let us know. We share it on Cancadi Radio. So email us at cancadi.radio@gmail.com. That's CANCARDI.radio@gmail.com. We are in your corner.
Island Style Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes, caps, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarves. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts, and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship Berth in Kingston. Our telephone number 784-593-6338. That number again, 784-593-6338. It's Island Style.
It's the Phil Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Cancadi Radio.
Thank you. Join your host, Ross Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Behavioral Online Radio and Cancadi Radio. Ross Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibration. When this begins, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with the host Ross Bishai.
Yes, family, again. Yes, and listen for an answer. And listen, family. Again. So, how do we do about healing our land? And what do we expect to get from healing our land? Well, the first thing is that we have to have some level of lawful control of our lands. Because you cannot heal the land if you don't have it, if you don't have access to it and you have rights to it, and you have some sort of ownership to its use, right with it. And as we see in this country in particular, our lands, which are all lands in the region, really lawfully belong to the indigenous peoples of those islands, these countries. No clues about that. And this is established in international law. Never mind that they were forcibly taken away by de facto governments in the colonial times. And they're still de facto now. Never mind the territorial independence. Okay? Because that's how they rule by force, with the laws of the sea. The land which they are calling common lands, which, as they are suggesting, are under the control of the British Crown in these island states here. That's not law. And a lot of us know that. So when the political parties of the same crown get into office, they try to do what they feel like with the lands. forgetting that we are only steward, we are just a steward of the land, and the land really belongs to the another generation, the next generation, the next generation. So until we, as a people, wherever we are, regain the governance of the land, not that the state can't use it, but the state has to use it with our full consent. Nothing short of that. Until that happens, we will never be in a position to heal our land 100%. And the other thing is that in terms of the agriculture, we as a people must be organized as a people and not be reliant on these governments, have our whole agricultural system relying on these governments. Because the experience here has shown us exactly what's happening. When that happens, when they tell you that you have an industry, for example, like the banana industry here since 1954 by Acts of Parliament, established by Act of Parliament, no. We people have to establish our own industry because when they do that, they mean to say that they could terminate that industry by the stroke of a pen, of their pen. Like what happened here, and our farmers are left holding the bag with nothing. And the banana industry, which has made billions of dollars in this country over the time, has absolutely nothing in this country, doesn't know anything. Farmers collectively don't know anything. But if you look at the businesses which are being supplied in the industry over time, they have grown tremendously. And some of them which are family businesses have continued for generations. So here are our farmers individually and collectively owning very little out of the banana industry which have generated billions with their sweat over the years because they were not organized business-wise to control the benefits of the industry. And right now what we have here in our agricultural sector is not the technical people who are advocating and directing what inputs should go in. It's the politicians who are trying to tell you bring in 10,000 sacks of this from there and 40,000 sacks of this from there. And when you check it out, these products in vain are things which will degrade the soil or soils more and more. So until we have control to a high level over the inputs that we put in our soils, and we are not dependent on inputs which are not upgrading our soil, but inputs which are degrading our soils, we will not win anyway. So that is one requirement all of us have to make. To be collective and to be secure. Collective security principle. In doing that, we will do a lot of good for ourselves. So here in the soils, our soils need basically, in healing the soil, one of the principal things we use is to increase the active organic matter. Organic matter is what the biology of the soils need. Biology is the science of life. The living organisms, those which you can see with eyes and those which are microscopic, too small for you to see, except you have a very powerful microscope. These are the first workers in the entire cell system. These are the ones who consume the minerals and so on, and the organic matter in a raw state, digest it and pass it out, so that another cell could do the same thing with their digestion, and it goes on until it reaches to a stage where it becomes food for the plants in solution, and the plants take it up. These are the ones who actually carry out that bio-industrial process right there. And the higher the density of these organisms you have, per gram or per ounce of soil is better for you. And you require a certain environment to live. Basically, you require an environment which has a pH just about 7. Okay? They don't want it acid and they don't want it alkaline. They just want it neutral around that place. So that they could balance another principle of our ancestors. In order to do that now, we have to start feeding our soils annually proper organic matter. And making sure that the proper organic matter is in the soil and that we have the micro population to convert it in the rice work. So that the plants will have they're going to eat, they're going to do something like a buffet. They don't have less food than they need. They have food what they need and in the right ratio. So they could be well fed. And when they're well fed, they will produce products that are more nutritious. So in getting organic matter into the soils now, there are 3 ways. And although we can get it at a high level in terms of high level microbial products broken down, we still have to have the product for them to break down. So a lot of composting, a lot more composting has to be done in this country and in other countries. A lot more composting has to be done at the small farm level, at the medium farm level, at the big farm level. Right? And that is something, to get that done, we have to demonstrate that to the people. And we have to teach the youth that also, demonstrate it to people of all ages. Because it has to be something which will be continuous. It must go from generation to generation to generation, the knowledge that is. Yes, we have to do that. And we have to find ways and means of getting the assistance to do that. I'm not talking about dependence on the government. I'm speaking about the linkage with people with similar ideas and intentions internationally, regionally, and there are people. So we have to do that sort of linkage. Give knowledge, give training, so that when, instead of giving us a fish, they are teaching us to fish and teaching us to prepare the fish. So when that is finished now, we can teach each other. That's the analogy I'm using, right? Once we start doing that, and we have lots of materials here, lots of, we're a green country, this country. So there's no problem in getting material for composting. We will also need the right equipment in order to make the job less arduous. Okay, like shredders and these sort of things. And the only thing that we will be detailing in another environment. We just live in generalities now in this program. And like the students in the school, this summer that gone, most of them would have had to do some course, attend the course or something in compost making. Yes, because that is where we have to do. We have to build an army, a national army of people who are capable of functioning in every level in the agricultural sector, in every level, at every level, in these countries, because the goal, the objective is to produce our own food and our own medicine. Just talking about medicine, I'm interested in here. I was doing a little research on the net yesterday, on a different related subject. You remember in the 1980s and 1990s how we had this law formed in big strong countries, military strong countries, that they call War Against Drugs, this program. And they had some programs attached to it called one called DAI. Okay? You know, these principally, when you look at them on the face of what you're looking at, when you really suss it out and you get to the root of it, they are already covers. They really serve several purposes. One of them was to be a cover for the intention, which was to steal our cannabis genetic material, tropical countries, including this one, so that they could develop. While they're doing this, they have their scientists in the labs working, and they plant breeders to develop different hybrids for the industry. The song was coming in this time, which is what they call the medical marijuana, medical cannabis industry. So, what I came across yesterday was the value of the United States medical cannabis industry. And what they say is that between 2024 this year and 2029, it is expected to grow at 1.63% compound rate, right? Grow like that every year. Okay? And by 2029, they expected to have a value, the industry. Remember, this industry wasn't there 20, 25 years ago, it wasn't there. But here on now, an industry based on the genetic properties and the genetic material of seeds that were sold during raids, helicopter raids and so on from countries like this and others. We expect the value to be $15.7 billion United States dollars. Now, when you look at that, that's the internal market, and you look at our CARICOM food, our annual CARICOM food import bill, 16 countries in CARICOM, our annual CARICOM food import bill, a few years ago, was $11 billion US dollars. That's food imported, you know. And this stole our material with other countries' material and made an industry to show up their failing pharmaceutical industry and have a value in their country of $15 billion. 15.7 billion US dollars. You see that our so-called leaders say wasting time on our people. We are sleeping somehow. We're not getting it. And then we have to build up our lives. And one of the reasons we're not getting it is because we're eating low vibrational food. That's why we have to clean our hands and produce our own food and our own drink and share it in the region. And who has the capacity to transform the food? We trade the raw food there and let them transform that food in one region. And then that food is distributed from there to the rest of the region. Because everybody don't have the same natural sources of we have the same strength naturally. Some people have more energy than some in different ways. Our energy is in the soil, some people energy is in the oil, and so on and so on. So who have the most industrial capacity to do that? Yeah, we can't be selfish and one-sided, one camp at this time. We make sure that is that area, that region does the most of its industrialization. In instead of bringing the same food from outside, we do it right here, and we do it using our own products. That leads us now to the development of commercially affordable organic fertilizers in both solid and liquid form. Microbial, high microbial fertilizers. And that is where Nature and Grade will come in. And we will be getting more information about that very soon. That is where we have to pitch it. We are chosen. Yes, we are chosen. We have been chosen. Not by any world organization, but by higher powers of that, to do that in this critical land. Apart from composting, another thing that we have to develop in the region is auto farming. Vermiculture, expansion of vermiculture, making old castings. Castings, yes, a special variety of programs that are used for that. And again, we'll get the details later in another setting. But we will have to do that. That is all. We have to train our young people, a lot of our young people in that. Not that we need the ones, the thing, but we have to train across generation. You know, we can't live in a generation gap. We have to train across generation so that the knowledge flows up and down. When that older generation of farmers go, the younger generation must have already acquired the knowledge and the skills to just fit in, to make it a smooth transition. And this is something that young people could do right at home, in the garden. Yes, composting. Easy thing to feel when you get the basics of it. We make the equipment, construct it, fit it up, and point out to the feeds necessary, natural feeds, the temperature necessary, the moisture level necessary, and of course, we provide the marketplace, so you don't have to worry apart from your own need for what you need to do. But vermicompost, to a certain level, is the highest percentage microbial compost you could find. Highest level of beneficial microbes. And these are the things that make the soil fertile, make everything organic available to the plant over time. These are a principal part of what is called the soil food web. So in all these things, a training and educational program is attached to it. And a lot of these things will be done not necessarily in hard classroom, but in virtual classroom, because the technology is available and it's there, and a lot of our people master it. For example, when this program gets fully in, we know that all of our leading platforms in the media and politically incorrect will be right up front as one of the platforms contracted to do this thing. Must be because of your already large following, because of your technical ability, and because of the contents of the program. Because you have to get everything in politically correct too, you know. And I'm not talking about the politics that going on, the cooperation where everybody is, you know, the really difference between opposition and government. All of them talking the same foolishness anyway. We're talking about development policies for our people. So that will be one way of training. The online, the right, where we expect to have the people chosen for the various groups who want the training will have some will be general, but some will be specific guidance. We have the gadgets necessary to log into, so that you can get it, right? And then, like in here, we expect to train a fairly large number of people annually. You will have practical sessions at least once a week, field visits and on-site visits and so on. Research station visits and these sort of things, farm visits. So you see exactly what's happening and you practice it. So that when you graduate from that course, you are already starting, you take the baton and you could start running in the way, farming really. But we also have to train a lot of people in basic administration, because experience has showed us that these organizations do not stick up. They have no longevity in these islands if you don't keep training people to make sure that we have a clique of administrative people, administrative able people to continue on. Secretary National Farmers Union, from the time the people who started it, but for a certain age, there were no other people with the interest and the training to carry it on. And it just faded away. And so they didn't get the training to overcome the pressures from the system itself either. They got the training just in the administration, but the training in sustainability that is very important. And those are some of the training that we're going to do. Okay? Of course, to do that again, we have to control and have mass storage or mass over, be able to master our water collection and distribution system, fresh water. Because in order to heal land, you cannot allow land to dry out to reach a certain hydrate deficit level and the lack of water. And we see what happened in this year in the late winter months and in the early spring months. Okay? That is the part that the artificial climate has had the upper hand on so far, but we have natural things which we could overcome that. So then we have to work to make sure that we have both the access to the water, we have the affordability of the storage infrastructure, we have the technical expertise to link both of them and to make it happen, and to feed our soils in the right time. In the right time. To keep the biology of the soils active all the time. Why is it so important to keep the biology active? The cost of the food itself and the quality of the food. The cost of the food must be available to each and everyone in the country. It must be affordable to them. It must be affordable to them. And the quantity must be available to them. And to prevent that from happening, we have to protect our foods from exotic pests and diseases. And these have been trusted us remotely. And because we are working together to nullify what they're doing, they succumb to their attacks. So right now, and I know some people say, well, it's all over. It's not all over. It's in a lot of places, but not all over. Our citrus has been under attack since 2012, 2013, and we have not recovered. Particularly in our limes. Our oranges have survived a bit. Our limes and lemons, these are the ones that took a lot of beating from what is called citrus growing disease. But we have the answer to that. It's curable. It's preventable and it's curable. So soon we will be working with farmers to revive our lime industry right here in the city and elsewhere where it needs to be. Okay? And the only way to deal with these things, the only way to deal with these things with biology, the only way, there's no other way. The only sustainable way to deal with these things with biology. That's why we have to teach our children that aspect of the science from early age right up. Okay? Yeah, that's my devotion. Not my biological youth, but my spiritual youth. Yes, now, while we are doing these things, we now have to bring to heal, move from healing the land. The land is healed at a certain level. Start producing food now. What will we put in the land? Again, our planting material has to be clean planting material. Because we move away from those people who want to twist up the GSO and the MSO and the USO and that kind of thing and give us this GMO food. We're not getting these foods. These foods are the roots of the non-communicable disease we have in the region. The hypertension, the diabetes, of course the obesity principle. And that is we can have in this country. Right? The heart problems, the cancers, these are the things. Through the foods and the additives in the foods. Collectively. So we have to now, in this process of healing, having healed land, we cannot come now and pollute the land with unclean planting material. So we have to find a way and a method to produce as much of our own seed right here. Or we are living in Barbados. Or find a source which has the seed quality you need and use that all the time. There's no way we will allow any group of merchants or politicians to sell you what they feel like to recontaminate the soil. No, we're not going down that road at all. Once we start on this path of healing our land, with healing speaking about, because healing very much right through the system. Right through. Right through. Right through. Okay? And it must keep moving from one to the other. Just like how the whole universe is, everything orbits, it's so it is. There's no change in the universe, there's no change in nature. None. Never know to tell you the study. Tell them to take that garbage right back where it came from, we know it came from. Okay? We have systems, we have orbital systems, we have circular systems. The blood system is not a chain in the way we walk, the blood will be running out somewhere. The mere fact that it returns to your heart and starts circulating together and gets reactivated, surely not a chain. Okay? Respiratory system is the same thing. It's just a system. The human system and life, they don't know the same thing. It's not a chain. The human system is a chain. The last quarter minute drop off somewhere down the road. And then you couldn't keep it, you can't find anyone. It's a system. That they don't keep the chains. Okay? So again, we will need the right type of equipment and tools to transform the food and the foods and the drinks from the primary stage now without affecting the quality and the healing properties into foods that could be stored and could be shipped wherever we want. That is the continuation of the whole healing process. Okay? And that's where we have becoming that way in organization of the people is most important. Most important. Our people, we have to form a new educational system. An educational system where once you reach 7, 8, 9, they already set with certain basic principles, certain knowledge, they need to expand on them and to use their, because they would have been taught by that time, starting their teaching and how to think and not what to think. They will now be able to be more innovative and creative as the time goes on. And regain our ancestral knowledge, first knowledge of science, because our ancestors were the first scientists on this earth. And of mathematics. So in region, we don't have any new mathematics, marks, or level in what they call the CXC. Our people are smart from a very early age and very intelligent. You know? So we don't have any foolish terms like climate smart agriculture. What we have is people smart farmers, smart agriculture. Or people smart agriculture. Because people have to be smart. Climate can be smart. Because we don't know those kind of, you know, yes, foolish and so on. So in doing that, we would have done several things. Principally among them, apart from the cutting down of non-communicable diseases, is giving our people a different mindset very early on, where the energy you have now is a different energy. So all this violence, and like my own personal analysis, a lot of the violence comes from what we're taking. Not just the songs and so, the food, I'm telling you that the vibes I am getting, the food in this country, in these regions, transmit a lot of violence to them, the consumption of the food. I am saying that if you go to any country in the Caribbean right now, any country in the Caribbean, the less violent, the less lawless, and less blood-letting people in the Caribbean are from the Rastafari community. I'm not talking about dreadlock, I'm talking about Rastafari. Because there are good people out there who have a Rastafari mindset who don't carry dreads. So I'm talking about everybody in that vibration, higher vibration. The higher vibration people not getting into that foolishness. Because they keep the temperature clean. And because they keep the temperature clean, the psychic side is different, the nervous side is different, the brain side is different, and the mental side is different. Again, there is a pollution because they do not put a lot of this polluted food in the system. And so when we get to that stage where the average Caribbean person is eating a food that does not have all these negatives about it, we will have a different, completely different Caribbean. Completely different Caribbean, and that's where we have to go. That's where we have to go. We cannot afford not to work together to heal the land. We must heal the land. If you're not healing the land, you're not starting, you're not starting to root of the problem. You're not seeing the problem. Wherever you are, whether you're planting things in containers or what, whatever soil you're using has to be clean soil, healthy soil, biologically active soil. And what you put into that soil must of itself also be clean. Naturally clean. Okay? Naturally clean. Because we're noticing now that the foods that we're getting here are weapons, they're weaponized. a lot of the hybrid marijuanas that you get in the region from outside, I'm saying it plain, they're weapons too. They have no vibes of meditation in them when you use them, whether in oil or in smoke or in whatever, none. The idea gone. We have to get to something where we are clean. We have to make sure people do not eat diseases and pests and sicknesses, non-communicable diseases, to feed the industry and an economy which is set on our weaknesses. They work us, they pay us minimum, they feed us garbage, just enough for us to drop on there one time because they need our money, the same money we work for them, but they need to pull it back from us. In the mine, the medicine, the pharmaceuticals, and the treatments, not the cures, the treatments, and they have us on that treadmill all the time. And they have us on that chain until we drop off the chain. We all really get linked on that chain. That's why we have to come off these chains. So that's the way we are, because we know that this system is a fraud. And if you think the system is not a fraud, that's what the problem we're going to see. System is a fraud. So we have to train our children in a different way so they would not fall to this fraudulent system. Come forward with the brother. Yes, many systems are big fraud. Whether you are in Trinidad, Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent and Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, anywhere you go, Antigua, St. Kitts, the system is a big fraud. Jamaica, big fraud. Yes, and it's only the collective security of the people, the clean-hearted people, could destroy that fraudulent system right now. One of the very important benefits that we get from healing the land, because remember the land doesn't cut off at the point with Mississippi, you know. The land under the sea too, is that the sea itself, because there would be very little, if any at all, toxic substances, pollution, to move from the land to the sea at that time, through the agricultural system. You will have a different environment in the sea. And species of plants and fish, which have disappeared over the last 30, 40 years, will be coming forward again, will be teeming again. Okay? Just today I was listening to something and they were speaking about 5 major foods that strengthen your nerves, your whole nerve of everybody. You know, a lot of people suffering from all types of nerve problems now, whether it's sciatic nerve or just nervous, or just of the whole nervous system, the breakdown. And the only one they spoke about, which was not a plant-based one, was oil, fish with oils. And one of the fish they spoke about that has the most oils per unit of weight. It was a fish that used to be very popular in St. Vincent here when I was a little youth, and even when I was a young man. It's a small fish, because it's fat. There's nobody in St. Vincent who live anywhere near the coast whose people never used to eat spot or roast spot. Spot was a favorite food in St. Vincent. No, hardly see spot. You hardly compared to what you used before. Because what? Because of the toxic inputs we use in the soil. So when the rain comes and the highly soluble things, when you use a fertilizer like urea, you throw it out this morning and the rain comes 12 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, 3/4 of them gone, the seed was supposed to burn. It's very water soluble. So then you will be left with the plants. Okay? certain pesticides, herbicides and so on, you spread them on the plant, rain come, you have to wash them down, they go through the soil, they reach them inside. It's the same effect they have of killing the biology roots. So when we stop using these things, and then we start growing again, you see nobody is using anything toxic in the volcano, and you see we just had an eruption 3 years ago. Okay? Not even 30 months. And you see the vegetation already coming forward in the volcano. Again, thank you, Paul Cyrus, for those amazing photographs. So once you keep the environment clean for certain things, you always have life. And then we in this region here, we between Grenada and St. Vincent and some Barbados to some extent, and St. Lucia, we have seed here, highly valuable seed. And then you need a clean environment in which you want to prosper. And that is one of the plants again that helps a lot to the nervous system. We don't need those. We have chlorella, we have seeds, we have different varieties of seed. So to keep these industries going and sustainable, we have to heal the land. So that they themselves do not take up anything toxic and they transfer that food, that toxic product from them to the consumer. So they have a very important role in healing the land. Very, very important role. Wherever you are in the Caribbean. Very important role in healing the land. We cannot afford to lose it to the next generation. We cannot afford to lose it to the next generation. Now, before I go, I want to get this one in. Because I came across a translation, the right translation, the original translation of the original Lord's Prayer. And I just want to show you, I will read it to you and you'll see a different vibe. How a lot of the truth has been hidden from us, so that we don't develop a mental capacity to think for ourselves and to be more creative and more innovative and more united. Listen to this. This comes from the original Amharic language translation. O cosmic daughter of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our bodies and carve out a space where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be in power to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires. Endorse with the wisdom to produce and share with each being needs to grow and flourish. With each year, you untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which will divert us from our true purpose, that illuminate the opportunities of our present moment. For you are the ground, the truthful mission, the birth, the power, the fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole again. And so let it be. So it is, and so it is. That is to say, actually. Now, know if that prayer was the word Lord mentioned. But our ancestors knew exactly what and who they were referring to. And the mere fact that land has been mentioned so many times, it shows you that we are the land and the land is us. That is why we have to feel the land to be healed. And the creators are also of the land. No getting away from that. No getting away from that. So the more we start eating food which come from, and it will be difficult for some people right now, I'm not saying that, but the more we stop eating food which come from lands which are not clean, which are not healed, is the longer we will stay in the negative vibrational stage. But the quicker we do it is better for us. So we have to work together as a people, work together as a region. We start working from community, we work on yourself first, and then you get the vibe to start linking with like people in your community, and you do it. And you build a family. See, look how that lovely family now already built through the platform Politically Incorrect. These are the kind of vibrations we need, families building there, where the consciousness grows all the time. Far from being perfect, but it's way ahead of the rest. These are the sort of buildings and strengths we need among our people, because the problems and the challenges we face on a little level are similar in each country. They might have a little different twist in it because of the culture of the people, but the same, what do you have to do with the problem, the same problem. And right now, we as a region, we face a problem because if we could be eating 11, 12 billion dollars a year of other people's food, produced food, in a country, in a region like this where rain coming at this time of the year, I whisper, we don't have in no country in the region less than 12 hours sunlight. And a very good sunlight of the highest level of spectrum we could find. We have abundance of fresh water in most countries. We have good air, clean air. We have good soils. So what is our problem? But here which not too long ago, a couple hundred years ago, our people were enslaved to use that same resource to provide wealth for other countries. So why is it being neglected now? Why we have to turn around now and be fed by these people outside? We have to take care of our own economic direction. We have to be the economic drivers. And I see all the economic hitmen is sending down, the government is sending down all the reforms in the region. We have to be able to snuff them out early and keep one step ahead of them. Because we know the system is a fraud. So people, this week, as I said, plan something. You don't have any plans? Set up a public area somewhere, go by a nursery somewhere and buy half a dozen lettuce seedlings. Buy 2 celery seedlings. Buy a sweet pepper. If you have enough space, buy a cabbage. Buy a mint or basil, or a thyme, or sage, and put something. Put it in the container properly where you can afford to keep it moist. Not with the pipe water, not the chlorinated water, maybe, but with some rainwater because the rain is coming still. So you could collect some water. You have something to collect water, keep it covered. And once you start eating properly, never mind what kind of pox they want to come with. Never mind what kind of fever they want to come with. Never mind what kind of COVID they want to come with. They will never be able to subdue us again. Because our immune system is so big. Like the president cricket in terms of the bowling field ball. Bowling the ball and the bowling wide. So we don't have to play at them. Let us make sure that our region, in this generation, not even for the next generation, becomes the most healthy region in the West, if not on the earth. Lots of big countries now are going totally organic. India, one of the, we call India subcontinent, because I know a billion people. Yes, India, and it's being led from the highest political level by the Minister of Agriculture and Lands. When will we get a minister in this region to carry the same vibration like the Indian Minister of Agriculture, present one? Where he has the gusto and the support of his other colleagues to say publicly and say what the farmers have been feeling from research. They didn't just guess it. Express the views of the farmers. And I'm not speaking about the parties and farmers, the farmers in general, that the chemical fertilizers are destroying their fields. And he's saying now it has to go full organic farming. It's coming from many other parts of the world. So why we here in the Caribbean, whose ancestors were of that mindset and that practice, and have much less surface area to treat, why are we not going there? It's time we stop wasting time. It is time for us to take things seriously and get on board. So make sure you plan something. Just before I go, for the brethren and sisters who planted the hub, planted their own hub, the 7th and the 8th, excellent days for setting seed. So also the 17th and the 18th. Okay? 16th and the 17th, but the 7th and the 8th are excellent days for planting and transplanting. And the week starting from after the first quarter, excellent week again. So, put what you have to put in the area. It's not too late either to plant soil. As a matter of fact, up to the middle of this month, you're going to get excellent soil. So put some soil seed in the ground so you can have something to drink or in the air. Until next week, fully enjoy the rest of the week. Be safe, be productive, be loving, be one. Rastafari Exodus.